The death toll from yesterday's quake has gone up to 33 this morning. Among the victims, 15 people found dead in the collapse of a single Northridge Meadows apartment complex. Caltech seismologists have a reminder for us this morning. Expect more aftershocks. Some of them may still be pretty strong.
What you've got right now is traffic coming out from the valley using San Fernando Valley Road, or San Fernando Road. But the traffic that, of course, trying to get into work this morning now, and of course for the next several months or years as people will start to try to assess exactly how long it's going to take to repair the freeway. This is Sierra Highway as people try to wind their way through the Newhall Pass down into the San Fernando Valley to go to work. So this is going to be the commute from now on. You're looking at the traffic backed up at least 5 miles already, and it's 6:45 in the morning as people try to do it, and the traffic looks like it's moving 5 to 6 miles an hour only as it winds its way through from the Antelope Valley. You're looking at some incredible pictures here. We can explain what this is. This is Interstate 5, right above where the old road goes underneath it, about a mile or two north of where the 14 and the 5 join in the Newhall Pass. This is the 5 freeway that has split in 4 different locations, being held up only over the direct center section there, right over the old road. You can see cars trapped and trucks trapped in the middle section of that freeway. We didn't see this yesterday because we didn't come out this far on the 5 until after dark. We saw the damage last night, but we didn't notice these cars. Can you imagine driving on Interstate 5, having the tumbler hit, stopping your car and realizing that you're trapped on an island 50 feet above a road or 60 feet above a road? And fortunately, we didn't hear of anybody dying or being killed here or going off the freeway at this location, but only by God's good grace. This is an amazing picture here. We got one tractor trailer truck, 2 small cars or a pickup truck, and a camper trapped in the midsection here. They must have rescued the people out of there yesterday.
We have just found a short time ago victim number 16. Victim 16 is a male, dark hair, black hair with some graying to the hair. We have not made an identification any more than that at this time.
The victim was found on the first level. The first level is the level that was compressed and crushed. We have checked every room and every void space that we can find. We feel that there is no viable victims left in this building.
This is the Pacific Palisades. This house has had problems a long time in the past, and with mudslides and the erosion of the hillside, but this earthquake finally took a big chunk of it away. This is just above the beach, right where Chautauqua and Channel come together down at PCH, down the Pacific Coast Highway. Up on top of the bluffs at Corona del Mar is the name of the avenue. This holds a commanding view of the whole Pacific Coast, and it is now joining the Pacific Coast as it goes down that hillside.
Jim, we've been sharing with you a morning that it's almost surreal. To see the Santa Monica Freeway devoid of traffic is just something that's almost hard for the brain to calculate.
It really is, Ken, when you realize that this is the busiest freeway, not in the United States, the busiest freeway in the world, but yet it's buckled, as you can see. I mean, I'm walking uphill here. You can imagine what it must have been like at 4:31 yesterday morning. If you'd been on this freeway, it must have been absolutely terrifying. Now, as we get up a little bit closer here, I think our cameraman can show you that it's cracked right here. I mean, it's amazing, as a matter of fact, that it didn't actually move even further. As we move to the left here, you can see the underpinnings and how the freeway started to crack in the middle there. And down further at the bottom of this, we'll call it a hill, at the bottom of this hill here in the middle of the Santa Monica Freeway, it started to crack and open up again.
This is a very common sight in a lot of stores today. This is what it looks like after the earthquake and the aftershocks have come through this store. This is Dale's Junior Market on Hazeltine and Burbank. And I'm just going to show you some of the mess that we have here. You can look down the aisles, and there are cracked bottles. There are messed up little pieces of stuff that used to be merchandise for sale here to try to serve its customers even after all of this damage. You can see there's a line of customers at the door there, and the reason they're serving them at the door is because it's too dangerous in here at the moment. They don't want anyone walking around here. They don't want people cutting their feet on the and you can hear some of the glass being poured into a dumpster there. Obviously, the liquor bottles have created quite a problem. Anyway, they want to serve their customers without endangering them in any way, so they're serving people at the door.
You're headed southbound on the 5 yesterday morning.
That's correct.
Okay, what happens when you're on the bridge?
Well, I'm driving along, and all of a sudden, I feel shaking. All within a moment, I see dirt fly up in front of me. Apparently, the expansion joint from the freeway gave way in front of me. I saw it drop. At the same time, my vehicle shook, and I felt like I was airborne. I was off the ground.
So when you come back down, what'd you think?
When I come back down, everything's shaking. All I did is immediately I hit my brakes, let off on them, hit them again. Truck came to a stop. I mean, all during this time, I saw ahead of me that the bridge had collapsed slightly. A lot of dirt flew up into the air.
You said there's a break in the pavement up ahead.
Yeah, I could tell off to the right that it had sunk quite a bit.
So what did you do? You said, let me turn around and go back?
Well, I stopped, and I just sat in the truck because everything's shaking very violently. And I just was thinking to myself, do I get out? Do I stay in the vehicle? Everyone says stay in the vehicle, you're safer. Sure. And the bridge had collapsed, and I thought to myself, well, when it stops, I'm going to do something. I'm going to get out and look. And I got out, walked back.
And you saw some bad news behind you. What did you see behind you?
Well, I saw that the bridge had separated. It didn't sink so far, but it had separated, and there was a difference of maybe a foot.
So what did you do? Did you decide to run for it, or what?
I decided at that point that I would walk out. I was torn between leaving my truck or walking out. There was a woman in a camper. I walked over. I asked her, well, first of all, I told her what I saw. I saw that the bridge was out ahead. I said the bridge behind it separated slightly. And I asked her if she had a family, because I saw her in a motorhome thinking she would need help. She said no. And I had told her, I said, well, my intention was I'm going to leave. I said, I think that we're in unsafe, and I said, I'm going. She said, well, should I take my phone? I said, yeah, well, grab your phone. And I said, let's go.
And she got out and
she got out.
So you walk back now. You get to the point where the connector had separated. Did you have to jump to get?
No, I just had to step down. It was, like I said, about a foot. Another trembler hit, and I was afraid it was just going to fall.
So when you left here yesterday morning, it was still connected pretty much up to where you were.
The back section appeared to be still connected, but it had physically separated, and to me it was a matter of time whether it would fall or whether it would stay that way. Looking at it now, you just don't know.
Well, we brought you here this morning, and you said this is the first time you've seen this. What's your reaction?
My reaction is, I can't believe how lucky I am that I'm standing down here looking at it and not laying in the rubble there.
Well, we are on 4th Street between Montana and Idaho, the Cortez Apartments. It was built around 1930. It has withstood several earthquakes since then, but it didn't withstand this one. As we go upstairs, we'll show you the dramatic damage up on the 3rd and 4th floors. Literally, the front walls of this beautiful stone brick building came tumbling down. That is the living room of a woman who's very lucky to be alive today. Listen to her story. Her name is Marilyn Brady.
I'm still probably in a little shock. I mean, I couldn't have told you how long the earthquake lasted. I don't remember any. I mean, when it first happened, I got up because I had a little statue of a dancer I wanted to come and rescue. And as I came into the living room, that's when the front fell out and the ceiling fell down, and I heard somebody pounding on the door, let's get out.
And she did get out. We have some videotape to show you of what the inside of Marilyn Brady's apartment looked like. There it is. That is the front of the building that we just showed you from the ground. She was able to rescue. The reason she came out of her bedroom into the living room was to get a glass figurine that had a lot of special meaning for her. As she moved into the living room, that's when the walls blew out, and she literally is lucky that she did not go out the window with the bricks. And there you see it from the outside as we zoom out of the apartment building. Some 40 units here. Everybody worked together, got the older folks out without any serious injury. That is a story that has been repeated over and over again here in the city of Santa Monica. People helping each other out in the middle of the dark with flashlights, barefoot, but no serious injuries as far as we can tell, and no fatalities here in the city.
We just celebrated our 50th anniversary, and this is what we got.
Evelyn and Harvey Renner had lived in this Canoga Park apartment for a decade until the quake wiped them out.
We're right now going in our son's apartment, his son's house, but I'm just devastated. I mean, all these years and everything else, and just.
Oh, you want to see my car?
Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at the gate.
That's my car. Can you believe that?
The gate looks like something holding up a castle. Look at that.
This was my car.
That's your blue Cadillac.
Yeah.
Your coach for retirement.
Yep. Beautiful shape. Gone. I got the keys. I try to give the keys away. Nobody wants the keys.
We saved one piece of crystal, and we saved one gold-plated cup and saucer.
Meanwhile, back at the Renner's demolished castle, Renner's son Michael and granddaughter tried to save some of life's golden mementos. Even the quake had a golden lining. Neighbor Vi Elias helped them out too.
You save and you work and you try, but you know what? The kindness of people makes it better.
Everybody came out. Nobody was hurt. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. There were no injuries here at all. None whatsoever.
But you know what? Like he says, they are golden years because we're still alive, you know.
First thing I said when we walked out, I didn't know we were going to be able to get anything out of there at all. And I just said to her, look at your feet, look at your hands. You can walk. That's all that counts.
Sustained some very serious injuries, but we think he's going to be okay.
When Salvador Pena was pulled from the dark hole he spent 9 hours in after the quake, elation over his rescue was mixed with fears for his survival. Paramedics had to place military anti-shock trousers over his legs and pelvis to prevent internal bleeding and splint any fractures that might have occurred. He was airlifted to UCLA Medical Center, where surgeons went immediately to work.
He has a massive crush injury below about the mid-level of his thigh, all the way down to his toes.
Although Salvador turned out to have no broken bones, the surgery was anything but easy. Aside from all of Salvador's injuries, there was one other obstacle that Dr. Zinner had to deal with here in the operating room at UCLA during surgery, an obstacle that many of us were dealing with at the same time.
When you're in the operating room and the aftershock occurs, there's obviously movement of the table and the patient, and sometimes it's not in the direction you want to go, so all of us have to stop and wait for it just like you do at home.
After controlling the bleeding, Dr. Zinner had one more thing to worry about. As often happens with crush injuries, poisons from the tissue breakdown threatens to cause Salvador's kidneys to fail. Preventive treatment was started immediately.
We treat that with intravenous fluids in massive doses to be able to flush out the kidneys and get those toxins out of there.
As Salvador's kidneys started to work, he also began to get the feeling in his legs back. Although the next 48 hours are critical, things are really beginning to look up.
We are optimistic that he will recover, but it's going to take a long time.
I'm homeless. I lived on the second floor, which used to be 3 stories, and now I'm on the first floor with no apartment, no food, no anything except my life, which is the most important part. So I'm lucky to be alive. I have just a scratch and a bruised back, but other than that, I'm fine.
What's the most valuable thing you lost in there?
My neighbors. My next door neighbors didn't make it. So the neighbors were the most valuable thing I lost.